Welcome, everyone. It is November the 3rd. We're in November now. Oh my goodness, time is flying. 2025. So let's just jump right into the slideshow here. Oh, I got one more button to push here. There we go. Okay, so Home to the Heart. This is book club for Home to the Heart, the Divine Mother's guidebook, Home to the Heart, How Things Work in the Higher Realms. And we are still in the root chakra. I think we're going to do one more with compassion because there's just so much that the Buddha has put forth here. So we're inviting the Buddha to be with us. And before we get into that, I just want to say there was something here I wanted to, oh yeah, if you ever want to hear the audios for each of these Zooms and these YouTubes, they are in this yellow, you just click on this yellow button here, yellow circle at voiceoffreedom.ca. And the audios and the transcripts are there. And so you can actually listen to the Buddha with compassion. Just scroll down until you find blessing and virtue, and the compassion is right at the top of that. So yes, and for anyone watching, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube, it helps to push the energy out to the planet. So it's a very simple thing to do, is just subscribe to the YouTube. And of course, donations and subscriptions, that's all. If you feel like you want to donate, it's all right there. Okay, great. Thank you. So I have a fun story to tell about, I was out on a birthday dinner with some beings that love to talk about how things work in the higher realms. And I kept referring to Commander Ashira. He's the commander of the United Forces of the Outer Galaxies, and explaining what I knew and what I'd heard and how things work on board ship. And the next morning, he came and he thanked me for inviting him to the birthday party. It was like a birthday party. And I said, and he said to me, I could distinctly hear it, that he loves being invited. So we have a monthly sound bath where I go and do readings. And I said, well, would you like to come to our sound bath? And he said, of course. So I was a bit taken aback that he would want to come and attend. Usually we get about 10 people. And I said, bring your friends. Well, you wouldn't believe it, but the whole space goes packed. We had 22 people. I think maybe, I don't know how we would have had anybody anymore, because it was just packed. So I'm inviting him again today. I know that he's been attending these, but so now it's very conscious. It's kind of neat. It's a new realm. So be very conscious when you invite, the mother and the mighty ones and the ascended masters and the enlightened beings. It's the saints, our beloved saints. So it's I think we're in a whole new level for really feeling them and hearing them, and eventually we'll be able to see their presences. But I've got a post to show you how we're not quite there yet, and it's quite scientific, so it's interesting to see. But let's ask the mother, the Divine Mother, the Universal Mother Mary, to put her cloak around us, that beautiful blue velvet cloak. And let's post the mighty ones. Archangel Michael, always along the door wall, his beautiful blue energy, and he walks along, and then he stands in the corner with his blue flame of truth. And then from there, Archangel Raphael walks along the next wall and stands in the next corner with his emerald flame of love. And then Archangel Uriel has a silver flame, and he expands his silver energy across the third wall and then stands in the corner. You can see I've got them in the corners here. And then Archangel Jophiel with his magenta amethyst flame, and also his Yofi dust to lighten everything up here. So if you have any friends or situations that you want to lighten up, just sprinkle that magical dust all over that etherically. And then, of course, Archangel Gabriel in the middle with the golden ascension spiral. So the more we're in that state of being, of joy, of ecstasy, of real excitement for purpose and just daily life, just being in gratitude, that raises our frequency and helps expand the energy out to the planet. And we're all on that golden spiral up into the higher realms. Okay, so here, this is the meme that I was telling you about. Humans can see frequencies from 430 to 790 terahertz and perceive sound between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz. These ranges are just a tiny portion of the entire spectrum of light and sound, meaning much of what exists is entirely invisible to us. The Divine Mother's always said things are not as they seem here, and that's the reason why. And I don't really know too much about this, but it's ranges of spectrums of light and sound. So interesting. Okay, so, and I just want to say, when you ask the mother to put her cloak around you and post the mighty ones, you are creating a healing chamber around you. So we're here to feel the colors of sound, of love, of nature. Love is everything. So relax into the harmony, the love, the compassion with the Buddha. And when you do your healing, awakening, and when you're in an awakened state, then you move into the action. So let's breathe the green and drop into your heart chakra and simply be in the heart, in the silence. And I'll say a little prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Council of Love and Council that serves, we gather here this evening, united in heart and purpose, seeking guidance through the doorway to your sacred wholeness. We have heard your call, and we answer now with our hearts, souls, and minds. We are your children and servants, companions in spirit, co-creators in form. We walk this planet Earth, Terra Gaia, this ancient garden of green. We seek our birthright and our inheritance. We seek all that is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be. We seek those blessings in order to better serve our companions of Earth, to be of service to the One, to show our love for each other and for Gaia. In this we join our hearts and pray. Amen, amen, and amen. Okay. So when you're in the heart space, you can call in the Buddha and sit under the Bodhi tree with him. Like he says in the, simply sit together in the wonderness of all. And in there, you have access to everything. You have access to all your lifetimes, to your emotional field, to your mental field, to your soul design, to your biggest self, which is this light yellow at the outside. That's your universal self. And compassion is in there, those three colors of compassion, the deep red, the green, and the magenta amethyst. So this red is part of compassion, that non-judgment. And look how close it is to the body, to love and serve without judgment. That's why we're all here. The only mistake we make is in judgment of self or another, when we forget our divinity. And the green, of course, is the mental field right there. Again, when we're mentally not judging anything, that's a very high state of being. And then the magenta amethyst is very close to the body. The emotional field and the etheric field is right here. And I'm going to go into this because Ken asked about this, but there's blue. This magenta is made up of red and blue. So blue is the peace and the forgiveness, and that's there too. That's the causal field where all your lifetimes are stored. So when we're in really deep forgiveness of everything that we've ever done, there's no judgment there. So when you're dropping into the root chakra with the Buddha, or sitting under the tree with the Buddha here, you're actually in the first dimension, brainstorming, letting ideas move. So he wants us to be in the healing, the non-judgment, the blessing of everything. But when your mind does get very still, all kinds of ideas come. So you get really aligned with your divinity, your sacred purpose. So, and Albert Einstein explains about ideas. They're just a chemical electromagnetic event, which is the father and the mother, the combination that has no form until it's brought into action and form. So that healing that's in the tri-flame in your heart, the blue flame is the healing. So getting to peace with everything and the stillness, the forgiveness of everything, trusting and having faith. And then the pink, that's you awakening, that's the self awakening. And then the gold flame is the action. So it's all inside of us. The most exciting place to visit is inside of ourselves. I know it's exciting on the planet and there's lots of exciting things happening, but it's easier to navigate the chaos out there when you're really knowing who you truly are from your inner stillness and peace and love and joy. So, and this field that is all around you is free. That's the free energy. So when you're really conscious of that, that's when it can come forth on the planet. We need to be conscious that the energy that is all around us contains incredible ideas to lift us all up into a state where the world works for everyone. So that's us being super conscious and knowing it's all in the field. All the ideas are in the field. And Sanat Kumara says, to be able to venture into your world, to truly see that all of the wonderful mixture, the melange the mother has created, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to just be able to bless it all, that's a very high state of being. So absolutely no judgment, and walking forth like that. And just sharing that with everyone you meet. So breathing that, it's in every breath we take, in the light and the moisture, the mother and the father, that's all around us. So we do have many, many opportunities to be this compassion that the Buddha talks about. So from 17 to 70,000 opportunities, we take 17 to 30,000 breaths and have 50 to 70,000 thoughts. So many, 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 many opportunities to be compassion. It's just a practice. Just keep practicing. So, and this ladder that I talked about, so we're going up and down the chakras, practicing our divinity. So our compassion, our love in the heart, knowing everything is forgiven, being at peace, the sound of the mother that comes from the throat. And this is the mastery. We hit mastery of the third eye. And this color, this magenta color, is made up of red and blue. So red is our humility and compassion. It's one of the colors of compassion. So that deep non-judgment. Blue is the mother's hope and the knowing of forgiveness and peace, that really deep stillness and peace and knowing of the balance within the mother, the father, the one. So that is, those two colors make the magenta. And magenta is beauty and wisdom. So there's hope and humility and compassion in beauty and wisdom. And that's the harmony within. So that's the mastery of harmony. So we're just going up and down, in and out of the dimensions and the chakras, and just mastering all this, just remembering our divinity. So Ken, does that make sense? Do you understand how this color, the third eye magenta color, is blue and red? Does that
Oh,
make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That always has.
Oh, okay. You asked about it last week, I think. So I
Well,
just
I think I asked it about it because of the green. You
Oh
know,
yeah, so compassion is, yeah. So the colors of compassion are that color, the deep red, and then the green, which is love. And of course, within love is that non-judgment. And then it's this color. So that is the magenta. And then the
Mm,
magenta is made up of red and blue.
yeah, so yeah, I was a little bit confused because of the way is coming from red and blue,
Yellow,
right?
yeah, yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yep, so there's compassion in the yellow and the blue too, I guess. They all intertwine.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yes. Love is everything. So even if you just focus on the green, you're there. What Michael said is we go up through the 13 chakras and we get up to the crown, which is the purple, and then we come back down and we fall into the heart. Like literally, we all want to be in that heart space. It's the most natural and it's the space that we all love, the seventh dimension. Yeah, as a planet. Okay. So, and this is such an amazing thing to do. So if you are feeling confused yourself, or you see a very confusing situation within the family, within the community, within a country, countries at war, if you just pretend to wrap everything up in like a magenta scarf, or even just energy of the magenta, it really helps us come to balance within, but it does help the outer situation as well. So it's a fun one to practice. I've been working with it quite a bit lately, and it really helps. Okay, so this is us. We're going to still go deeper into the root chakra with compassion with the Buddha right now. So he says, very often judgment is quite personal. And even when you say it in a general way, and he says, if you peel that banana, so look at the color under here. That's the purity. That's the white light of purity. A banana is sort of creamy white. Then what you find is that you are truly judging or criticizing an individual, that is what it comes down to. And therefore you're not recognizing the divinity with them, but you're actually not recognizing the divinity within yourself. So if you find yourself criticizing something out there, it usually means it's within us. We're just speaking it as if it's out there, but it's really within us. That is what compassion does. It calls out for that divine spark to rise up rather than to assume an ego defensive stance. So to be sort of in our stories, and, usually it's something from the past. And he says, you want the defensiveness, the need to defend, to be gone. It serves no purpose. It is a way of disengaging. Just as I have said that compassion is infinite, so is your potential. So our infinite potential that Archangel Michael talks about, that we'll get into in another Zoom. Yeah, compassion is infinite. Yes, Ken.
Well, I was thinking that also that's exhausting.
Yes, it is. Yes, if you feel like you're exhausted, it could have something to do with judgment of self. Yeah, definitely. That's a very good point. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. It is exhausting. And then he goes on, he says, I am going to speak out of both sides of my mouth. You say, well, they are doing the best they can. But then the question becomes, what are you doing to assist them to see how much more they can be? Because there is a shadow of judgment. Oh, I'm not judging you. I guess you are doing the best you can do. Well, that means you are judging that person as less than. That is all they are capable of, when in fact they are capable of complete enlightenment. So you send the compassion, just wrap them up in that magenta, because they may be caught on a treadmill, just like this little gerbil here. You do not act harshly towards them, but you hold the higher vision. And yes, I know, because it is discernment in words, and it's so true, to really watch our languaging. And Albert Einstein said that when he was talking about the dimensions to us, to really watch the words that come out of our mouth and to catch them. And the Buddha says to say no compassion when we catch ourselves saying, judging within, judging without. And of course, it's just a practice just to keep witnessing yourself and becoming more and more conscious and aware. Jesus said that our ascension is us becoming consciously aware, conscious awareness. So it's very much connected to the words that we're speaking. And just send. If you catch yourself, then just wrap yourself up in the energy of the magenta. It really does help. I'm not quite sure why, but I do know that color is very, very healing. And you'll find that you have great empathy towards yourself and more empathy towards everything that's happening on the planet. And it does shift situations. I've witnessed it shift things within my own family very rapidly. So it's a very powerful thing to do. So the Buddha goes on, he says, compassion tends to be quite quiet, because the flip side of this, you are doing the best you can, is the same as I know you can do better, and that is judgment as well. You are not doing good enough. You are not measuring up to some standard I have. The question is, what is your heart's desire? So you can say this if if someone's asking us for help, like I don't recommend going up to people and insisting that they listen to us. It doesn't really work that way. But if beings are coming to you and asking for help, this is a really beautiful way to engage by asking them what their heart's desire is. Do you feel that you are doing in every way what you desire and want to do? Do you feel in every moment of every day that you are the fullness of who you are? And this connects directly to sacred purpose too, because the more that we are excited about our life, oh my gosh, that is your heart's desire, or tends to be. And it's whatever brings you the most joy, that you can't wait to get up in the morning and get to it. So yeah, what is your heart's desire? That is a really good starting place. And it's something that I will ask people in readings all the time. I ask them if they come in, I don't know what my purpose is. I'll say, well, what are you most excited about? What could you do all day long? And there would be no time because you'd be so engaged in what you're doing. And then people always tell me, they always say, oh, well, I love to do this or I love to do that. And then I'm like, okay, then just build on that, because that's connected to your heart's desire and your purpose. And the Buddha says that is the question, and it is up to the person to respond. Because what you are saying in that question is, I support you in what you desire in your path. I'm not expressing agreement or disagreement. I am supporting you in love. And that's such a beautiful thing. But there are lots of beings that it's difficult. They haven't quite awakened to what's going on the planet. So it's never a good idea to force our ideas on anyone. I know that we can get quite excited about this. And there was a point where I was kind of being too excited. So now I've learned just to let the people come to me and ask the questions. So it's an interesting journey when you're first awakened, because you get very excited about everything. And then the Buddha says there are very few beings upon your planet, when approached in that way, with such unconditional support and permission to become, that do not flourish. Because in that question is also the opening for a very human conversation. I've always wanted to try and do this, but I have self-defeating mechanisms. And then there is advice and sharing, and that is different than compassion. So we all have these self-defeating mechanisms. It tends to be fear and anxiety and old sorrow and shame and feelings of guilt. And they do connect into this lifetime, but most definitely into other lifetimes. So we're overcoming our fear. And with awareness, all the self-defeating mechanisms can fade away. It happens with our awareness of them, facing into them, asking questions about them, and just coming to peace. Really, it's really deep peace with the self. And then all of a sudden, all your joy just bubbles up and you can't wait to get going and doing your purpose. But he says it is a true heart conversation, and it doesn't mean that either one of you has the fullness of the answers you are seeking. It means that you are seeking together, and that is becoming. That is the path of enlightenment when we do it together. So it's a beautiful thing. Compassion is so key, because when there is compassion, there is awakening, because there is the latitude to explore. So let us use this example of the perpetrators when they're not being bombarded by the old paradigm of fault, blame, separation, control. It creates a crack and an opening for them to begin to realize they are loved and lovable. So might there be a separation? Yes, but that is not the human desire, the collective desire. He says we have been most ambitions in our declarations for the collective. Back in 2012, we declared to the higher realms that we wanted everyone on the planet to ascend. So that's about 8 billion people now, to become aware. Now, does that mean that everybody will have laid down their guns or their hatreds? And he says, yes, it does, because there is no room where there is love. It is just the antithesis, where the perpetrator becomes the apologist, and the apologist becomes the acceptor of their actions. And all of this is found in the heart space when you sit still. It's in the blue flame in the heart. I've learned more just staring at this flame in the heart, because the blue is all about healing and that really deep forgiveness of self for lifetimes, because we all feel that we have done things out of alignment, and we have, but everybody has. So it's just been the experience here to know that deep forgiveness of the higher realms. The Divine Mother, Father, One, forgive everyone, no matter what has happened. And yes, there is divine justice, but we don't have to. We are working with the self and coming into that space of non-judgment of the self, that deep, really deep knowing of karmic dispensation. So then there's an awakening, and then we feel that call to action where we can be more and more with the people, and holding that energy in our field, that compassion in our field, so that other people can feel it, that we're not judging them, therefore not to judge themselves. So the apologies are a really quite a large part of what's happening on the planet. And the Divine Mother did have this to say with me in 2015, that for a month in January, I was guided to sit still. I was in it was a tiny little apartment, and I had someone bring me food, and I sat still for a month, and I was listening, and there's a being called Lord Melchizedek, and he talked to me about apologies being a big part of the healing of humanity. And in May of that year, a few months later, the Divine Mother, Universal Mother Mary, came, and she talked to me about this. And she said, you have learned the power of forgiveness and compassion, apologies, receiving a genuine, and she says it here again, because it happened again later, a few years later, that I received apologies. I'm sorry. When someone says that truly from their heart, it is a request for forgiveness. And so in the person receiving the apology, it is not only the transmutation and what I would call the rectification of an injury, it is an expansion of the receiver to then, from a higher realm, grant forgiveness and feel compassion. So just be in the place of non-judgment. And just to remember, it's like a mirror. So if someone is apologizing to you, that could be that it's for it goes back and forth, so that it's the compassion works for both, for the self to come more and more into that non-judgment, and for the both beings to be in that compassion for each other. So it's an amazing when you do receive a really genuine apology, it's very, very healing for both parties. And I said, it feels like the release of an addiction to pain. And she said, that is correct, because as it comes in, it is transforming. It is the acknowledgement, it is the healing of the wounded warrior. And I had never received something like that before. But what happened was my addiction to caffeine disappeared overnight. And so I was asking her about it. And she said, because you didn't need it anymore. So caffeine tends to lift us up and make us feel like energized. But when you're in this really beautiful state of peace, of deep, deep forgiveness of the self, then all addictions disappear. And that's what I've noticed with myself, with other struggles with addictions and that kind of thing. The more you're at peace with yourself, they just disappear. So it's all in the tri-flame. So, and the Buddha says, is there reparation? Yes, there is. And it is accepted in the spirit in which it is offered with compassion. Doesn't mean that there is a magic wand and you say today everybody changes and all is forgiven. You know, that is not the law of karma, even during this time of karmic dispensation. We'll get into that when we get to the throat chakra. There is the balancing out, but it cannot balance out until there is forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, and then forgiveness of one another. And also, this is super important, forgiveness does not mean forgetting, because you never want to repeat certain atrocities. But it does mean that the vicious razor's edge of pain is not present. Archangel Michael has said that too. We don't want to forget where, what has happened here, because we don't want it to repeat. So we will always remember a certain amount so that we can maintain thousands and thousands of years of peace. But the higher realms are saying they're helping us. We are capable of softening that with and for you as you move through this transition. So it is not simply a human undertaking. We are all very much in service with you. So be really cognizant as we're doing this work that we're surrounded with help. And they would love us to see us in the state of peace, compassion, forgiveness of self, especially, and especially of others as well. Just to have that compassion, that ability to not to judge, to love and serve without judgment. So he says, when you have unweighted yourself under the Bodhi tree of everything, then you are free to stand up without carrying the burden bundle on your back that is so heavy that you feel you cannot, that you could not come and walk with me and travel to the villages, the towns, the cities of light, saying, look, we bear good news. So yeah, you can do it just sitting still. I know that I sat still and then I was actually guided to go and ask for apologies, which was really interesting. So, and then there was a certain degree of people not wanting to apologize. So that was interesting too. Yes, Stefan.
Can we go back to the notion of compassion as it relates to telling ourselves, like, okay, I often tell people or tell myself it's okay, they're doing the best they can with what they have, and that everybody has filters that they see their life through, and their past experiences influence the way they behave and act, and I genuinely believe that people try to do the best that they can at any given time. Obviously there's other times when people are evil or whatever, but for the most part, I believe that it was compassion of me to think it's okay because they're doing the best that they can. And what you're saying here is that that's actually not compassion, that's judgment. And I've never had that sort of.
Interesting. I know. Interesting how
Yeah.
you said that, eh? I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying you are doing the best you can is the same as I know you can do better.
Yeah. Well, is it though? Is it though? Because is that really what it's saying though? If if you're really believing that they're doing the best that they can, um, is that the same thing as saying I know you can do better? I don't know if I would agree with that.
Hmm. It's interesting how he words it. He's saying it's a flip side. Um,
That there is a flip side potentially,
yeah. Yes.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but he's saying here you're not doing good enough, you're not measuring up to some standard I have. So do we have a standard for that person?
Okay, so if you're saying you're doing the best you're doing the best you can implies
Yeah.
that there's more to be had, and that they're not capable of better because they're doing the best that they can. I see the judgment in that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what are we to do then to be more compassionate in those circumstances where we have, you try, I mean, I've always thought that I was compassionate in that sense, but now
Mhm.
I see where the judgment does come in. So how should we respond to ourselves and or to others? Um,
Well, I
in,
think one of the best things to do is to wrap the whole situation in that magenta energy. So catch yourself, oh, there I go again. This is what
yeah,
how I'm perceiving this situation.
yeah,
What I've noticed when you wrap it up in that magenta energy, the person, the situation, and ourself, it actually neutralizes it all. It's incredible. Just
yeah.
practice it, and then next week we'll talk about it because you'll
Okay.
see it changes it for the person. The person becomes more neutral about whatever it is they're struggling with. And
Mhm,
so do we. It's almost like it helps us have deeper compassion, non-judgment for what we're looking at. Like
mhm,
if somehow it comes right back to us so that
mhm,
we can be more and more just loving everyone, just blessing them for wherever they're at. Yeah. And if they do come to us and ask for help, then we can really have that beautiful conversation. And he says
yeah,
that's not compassion because in that then you're just letting ideas flow.
right.
Mhm.
Okay.
And asking what their heart's desire is. So just supporting them. Uh,
So catch myself and wrap both everybody in the magenta
yeah.
cloak. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I've found is the easiest thing. Because if you try and mentally figure it out, you just go round in circles.
Right. Yeah.
So just stop it. Stop it. Okay, there I go again. No, compassion and wrap.
No compassion. So Buddha's no compassion. Got it.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. That's good that you brought that up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and Ken or Lillian?
Oh, it's Lillian.
Yay,
Um,
Lillian.
we were taught in our NLP training that there was a
Axiom.
axiom, yeah, that you do the best you can with the information that you have at the time.
Mhm.
So you're basically
But that's still judgment.
well, that could be, but that's what you're doing every day.
It's so insidious. This judgment, we just don't realize it. I think he's just trying to get us to be even more consciously aware.
Well, yeah, it could be. But it's, if I knew better, I'd do better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a cop
he-
out.
yeah, and I think he wants us really to come and sit with him, in the heart space,
Yeah,
into the silence, because he says compassion is quite quiet. So we're not even thinking. It's not it's not very mental.
okay.
Yeah. See, because when we drop into the heart space, that's why I put the heart here.
Mhm,
It's a very different state of being.
mhm.
The mental kind of falls away. Yeah. Oh yeah, that practice of being in the heart is the I feel like it's the most important thing that we're here to remember, out of the mental and into the heart. But I don't know, I don't have words because I don't know how to use words for this.
Well, no, I understand what you're saying. It's our place to be compassionate and non-judgment of whatever that other person is doing or saying or being.
Yeah,
It's our place to send out that compassion,
yeah,
regardless of what they're doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is not really thinking about it too much,
Right.
more of a feeling.
Of whatever action they're taking.
Mm-hmm.
They need our judgment, our judgment. They need our compassion. They
Yes,
don't need our judgment. They need our compassion.
yeah,
First, and our love, whatever it is, that's what they need from us.
yeah, exactly. That's it. And it can be quite insidious if you're with somebody that's complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tend to go quite quiet when someone's complaining. And then I will, as the complaining starts happening, I'll wrap it up. I'll wrap that person, I'll wrap me, so I don't join into the complaining. Yeah, because we don't want to spiral down into it.
What's funny is that I was in Costco today
Mhm.
and I was just going along getting something and I saw somebody and I had a judgment and I thought, that's a judgment, Lillian. I caught myself and I thought, that was tacky.
Well, then you say, no, compassion.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and
But
laugh.
I don't think I've actually really ever literally thought to myself, that's a judgment and caught myself.
Fantastic.
You know
Fabulous.
what I mean?
Really good work. That's exactly it. And
Oh my God.
yeah,
And when I didn't slap myself, but I did inside.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was just, oh, that was awful.
And did you laugh? Did you laugh? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
good, good,
It
good.
was like, that was just, don't do that, Lillian.
Okay, so the reason we do this is because it comes down through the family line. Inside of mom and dad and siblings, everybody's judging. Like if we could really see what everybody's thoughts were, we'd probably be horrified.
I wouldn't want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Our guides see it all the time.
One of
Yeah.
the, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they know exactly what we're thinking and saying, and they know everything. So it's telepathic and it goes into the field. So this is how important it is. Yeah. So can you imagine being a guide and listening to us all the time? Yeah, listening to our conversations. Oh my goodness. Then no wonder there's 3 of them. They must do it in like, okay, I've had enough. Your turn now. Yeah.
Alka Seltzer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, one of the things that I was wondering about is when people start complaining, I try to make jokes so I can get them out of that.
Yeah, that's what SK said to do. Yeah, make a joke. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, because it's a spiraling. It just spirals and then everybody spirals down. And then it's like, actually, when we get to joy, Gabrielle talks about this as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is good. Good discussion. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Yeah. So the higher realms are really helping us. That's what might have happened, Lillian. One of your guys might have pointed it out. And then the other thing to be like, is to not judge the self that we've judged.
Right. No, I don't think I did. I think I was just so surprised.
That's good. That's fantastic.
Right.
That's fun.
That I noticed it.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was a judgment, and that is not something that you want to do.
Yeah.
So
Very,
quit it.
very good. But you see how insidious they are? They're
Mhm.
subconscious, unconscious, and they just run all the time and we don't even realize it's happening.
Mhm.
One of the things that I was wondering about is how to use Yofi dust to
Yes,
change
absolutely.
which situation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. So Lillian, you could have just like pretended to shake dust all over yourself. Sparkling fairy dust. Or you can do that over, if you're watching, you see something in the news or you see a situation where people are fighting, you can just etherically just throw a bag of Yofi dust on everything. And it lightens everything up. So then, yeah. I think it's almost a transmutation energy. Because my guides did tell me you can let things go right off your fingers and it turns into sparkles. And then there's the word that she used, I can't remember, but it's in Shakespeare. And she says it becomes a double something and it comes right back down on us. So you give it away, it turns into sparkles, and then it floats right back down. So like Yofi dust all over us.
Well,
Double mercy, I think, is what she called it.
Hmm.
well,
Yeah.
I do find when I'm reading Golden Age of Gaia and I'm reading the darkness thing that
Yeah, that's deep, but yeah.
Steve puts out, and I'm reading some of this stuff, and I'm like reading this stuff, and I'm like, nobody is that stupid that they came up with this idea. I'm like, I have an average intelligence, and these people come up with this idea. Nobody's that dumb. I mean, it was like, what was it that I was talking about today? Oh, it was some idea.
Mhm.
Oh, it was with the weather.
Okay, all right. Weather manipulation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you want to do this? Oh, they wanted to do something with the sun.
Mm,
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They
And
wanted to dampen the sun.
mm.
they
Who?
wanna- and I'm thinking, I have average intelligence, and I can tell you that's a really stupid idea.
Mhm,
Now, why would you want to do that?
mhm.
I'm like,
Right, so that's a good opportunity to just sprinkle Yofi dust or
yeah,
wrap it
no,
up, in the magenta.
I just laughed about it.
Yeah, laughing is good.
It was just like, I just laughed. I mean, I'm
Mhm,
thinking, this is just so utterly ridiculous that I can't
mhm.
even contemplate someone even thinking this up.
Right, right. Yeah, well, that's yeah, so the compassion is not to judge it on any level and just wrap it or laugh, because
I
yes,
just laughed.
in laughter, there's none of the old systems. You can't be afraid when you're laughing. There's no sadness really. You can laugh and cry sometimes, but yeah, all the old systems just fall away. So laughter is very, very helpful.
It
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, there is a lot of situations on the planet right now, especially this month of November. I think a lot of really ancient energy is going to come to the surface to be released for humanity to have a look at. So
yeah,
just be aware, this is going to be quite an intense month. So lots of Yofi dust, lots of wrapping.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, they've come up with another good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, so yes, and sit still as much as you can, because in the heart space, everything you get the ideas of how everything's in divine order, and we're here to witness what's planet coming to peace. So it is going to be, it has been, and it is for another little while, quite chaotic. Yeah.
Mhm.
But our job when we hold the center and we just hold the being in the heart, it actually goes everywhere. I mean, it only takes a certain percentage of us knowing to be in the heart to shift a whole planet. So, yeah. Yeah, everybody is very powerful. And we're just here to come. Oh, that's a good one. You just see this? That's what we're going to see a lot more of. So when you hold this center, see how the Buddha is very calm and serene, and same as this piece for being. So you're really focused on creating your purpose, your sacred purpose, which is harmony, which is peace, love, and joy, focused on the divine qualities. You can walk anywhere and be this serene and just bless it all, like what SK says. And when you're blessing it all, you're up here in that third eye. And that's why the Buddha looks so serene, because he's mastered being able to bless everything. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, I find I can be serene when I go out, but if I stay out for a while, I tend to lose that serenity. What's the best way of holding on to it?
Practice. Just practice. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm out all the time. And you get so you just kind of smiling like this all the time. Just smiling. It's like a little smile, and you're just very grateful. Every step is a walk of gratitude. Even the small, I don't know, I run the compost down to the basement and I run the stairs, and I'm finding that everything is I'm super grateful for everything, anything that I'm doing. So everybody that I meet, even if it's, yeah, I don't know, it's a practice. Yeah, Ken or Lillian.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in your situation, Darren, what about using Yofi dust? If that would help.
Well, I've tried just about everything I could think of, and
Oh,
it seems to wear off after a while.
Oh, I see.
It
Okay.
usually means that there's more to be at peace with the self with, is what I found. So if you can get back under the tree with the Buddha and ask him why, and why am I not at peace? Why can't I hold this peace? What lifetime is it connected to? You can ask what lifetime, where haven't I come to peace about something about myself?
Okay, just more work done, that's all.
Well, it's just being curious and asking questions. Because if you can walk and be out in the public and be at peace, it's a wonderful state of being to be in. It's much easier.
Yeah, I know, it's great while you can hold it, sure.
But well, it is definitely connected to the inner work, the inner unloading your like the burden bundle. It's connected to this. So the burden bundle on your back, whatever that is, when it's not heavy anymore, then it's easy. It's easy. You can say, look, we bear good news. That's like, that's what that's exactly how it feels with me, because you're just out there and you're just sharing your joy, basically. Yeah. And it's very consistent too. It's really a consistent state. You show up in joy, just you show up in gratitude. I know that when I was really struggling with a lack of money, and I heard just bless them every money transaction, and you shift your field into a state of gratitude, everything started flowing better. I started feeling better. Money started flowing in, everything. But it is a state of joy, of gratitude. And it's interesting because that's what like, right, if I can show you this, that's the action, is the joy. It's the golden energy. So the blue is the healing, being able to be in a really deep state of forgiveness of the self, at peace with the self. And it awakens you so you can be out in action, in joy, in gratitude for everything, especially yourself. So the more we're in gratitude to the self, and every little step we take, it's quite easy to be out in the public in that state. But it's just a practice, like I said. Yeah, we don't want to walk around like this. That's no fun. So here the Buddha says, when you walk with me, do you show compassion for the flowers or do you trample them? Do you show compassion for the animals and their pathways, or do you erect fences? Do you try to control and corral them off their feeding and drinking and natural habitat pathways? So are you trying to control something when you're out? It's a very natural state of being when you're in your joy. And it's super consistent, is what I've noticed. And he says, compassion is not simply for human beings, but it is for everything and for the entire planet. But it's a state of being. But yeah, Darren, you don't walk on the flowers. You don't trample the flowers. So it's the same with the self. So we don't want to be trampling the self. Trampling, like not forgiving the self for some experience. I had an amazing reading with somebody on the weekend, and I think I can share it here. But this being said, she was on the mat. I had her on the crystal mat, and she said, I said to her, do you ever feel full after you eat? And she said, never, never, ever. I am always hungry. She said, as a kid, I would stuff my pillowcase with food so I would have food overnight. I'm always, always hungry. And I saw her dying of starvation in a concentration camp. And then she had a lot to share about that. So it just depends if you can get into that lifetime where you have had something so traumatic happen, it will, and you just have the awareness of it, it can shift everything into a state of joy, so that it's just awareness. It sets us free. But often it seems really confusing to us because we don't really have that awareness of the past. But all you have to do is ask. Just ask your guides. It's in your field. It's in that blue field that's all around you. So just ask, why? Why can't I not maintain my joy, my gratitude when I'm out in public? Yeah. Yes. Okay. And the Buddha is right with you. Ask the Buddha. He says he gives us his heart of compassion. He shares his being with each of us. You may draw upon it because within compassion is infinite strength and knowing. That's it right there. There you go. Of the divine. That is my message this day. And he says, go in peace. So yeah, just ask him. Ask the Buddha for help. He's right there with you.
Okay, I'll keep working on it.
It's not work though.
Okay, bad choice of words.
Yeah, because you know what? It's our joy to be in that state of joy. That's why we came. So,
Oh,
but if we feel like it's hard, then it will be.
no,
You
then,
say, it's easy and the answers are right with me. And I am relaxed, so you can relax into that knowing, because we tense up from trauma in this lifetime, we tense up. But the more relaxed we are, then the answers come. I am relaxed. You can say that over and over and over. I am relaxed, and the answers come easily to me. And I am a state of joy. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh yeah, wrapping up in the magenta can bring a lot of answers. I found, yes. And let's see. Yes, simply sit in the heart. Yeah, that's where everything is, in the heart. Okay, so let's see. Did we go over time? Oh, we went over time again. Oh well. Does anyone else have any questions? or comments or stories to share or anything to share? No? Okay. All right. So let's if you have time, let's sit in the heart now for 10 minutes and just send or just be love for yourself. Sit with the Buddha, ask the Buddha to come and sit with you and help with the consistency of joy or compassion or whatever the state that you wish. And setting intentions can be really, really powerful. You can, I'll share when we get to the law of intention that I have an app that I use. And so I set intentions every day, and that really can help too. And in that, there's a list in the law of intention. And Darren, I can just send it to you so you can see it. And one of the intentions,
Okay.
I'll just pull it up right now. One of them is, well, it's intention for my day, intention for my week, intention for my behavior. And so you can just set your intention to be grateful, to be in joy. So you can walk a full, all the time in joy, in gratitude. Yeah. Intention for what I choose to experience and receive throughout the day, how I seek to interact with others, the inspiration I wish to experience. So you set those intentions and it works. It works miraculously. But it's the consistency again.
Yeah, yeah.
It's consistency. And that's why I said at the beginning, the one thing that really, really helped me come into the space of divine alignment is the consistency every day, same time, same chair with a notebook and intending that divine alignment. And the release of the burden bundle on your back, basically. So coming to peace with yourself, forgiveness of everything, this life, all lifetimes. And that alleviates it. So you can just walk in the state of joy. It's very bubbly. Okay, so let's do our 10 minutes of being compassion with the Buddha. Okay, so if everyone could put themselves on mute, and I will too, and breathe that green and drop into your heart space and sit there with the Buddha. And I'll put the timer on for 10 minutes. There we go. That's 10 minutes. It goes by so quick. We could easily do 15 minutes. Yeah, that was great.
Thank you, Kathleen.
You're so welcome. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for coming and sharing and everything. Good work.
Thank you. Anytime.
Mhm. Okay. You know what I saw was amazing. I saw like compassion, it's more like of a wrapping. It's a circular, where some of the other energies are more like they go up kind of, but this compassion is like a vibration that you're sending out to the people. It's like a vibration of non-judgment. It's like a wrapping, like a big hug for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, feels good. Okay. Well, any other comments or anything?
I would just jump in, Kathleen, and say how much I appreciate that you hold this space for us on Monday nights. It's so nice to just have a container, and I like the wrapping that really impacted me tonight. You've mentioned it several times now, but the feeling of the wrapping, of that protection, of the cloak, all of these things, it just the hug you just described, it's very powerful, it's very healing, it's a really sweet spot in the week, so thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. That's so nice of you to say that. Thank you. I really enjoy this. So I hope that comes through.
Absolutely.
Well,
We feel your joy. I feel and see your joy.
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
All you have to do is listen to those giggles, and it's it's very evident.
Yes. Yeah, it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I so appreciate that you all come. You're so consistent. It's very, very beautiful. Very. And the mother and everyone, like the higher realms, are so appreciative. Because even though we're a small group, it's very powerful. And the energy is going
Indeed.
far and wide. Yes. So I just want to take a moment and thank everybody. This room is very full right now. I just want to say thank you so much. They're watching over us and cheering us on, and they can't wait until the planet's at peace. Then they can really interact with us. Yeah, we'll be able to see them better. Okay. Well,
Right.
yes, okay. It's my joy to be here, and I'm so happy that you're all here, and wishing you a great night. And we'll be back again next Monday.
All right, good night, everybody.
See you
Night.
then.
Love you.
Good night.
See you tomorrow,
Thanks,
Kathleen.
Dan.
Yes, for sure. Okay.
Mhm,
Good
bye.
night.